Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Thursday, May 19, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our 6 betting picks. Miami Heat vs Boston Celtics. Our team pick is Boston Celtics +4. And here is why. The Celtics sure could have used Al Horford and Marcus Smart on the floor on Tuesday night. Jason Tatum got outplayed by Jimmy Butler and the Heat outscored the Celtics 39-14 in the third quarter. Coach Ime Udoka was livid while watching his team come apart in the second half of the game after leading by as many as 13 points. It was a collapse of epic proportions for a Celtics team that could be in for a tougher fight than most expected. The good news for Boston is the fact that Marcus Smart is now listed as probable to return on Thursday. However, Horford, who in many ways has been a star throughout these playoffs, is still doubtful to play in Game 2. The Miami Heat won a conference-best 29 home games during the regular season and ranked second during the playoffs in defensive efficiency. In Game 1, Miami outscored Boston 39-14 in the third quarter to erase an 8-point halftime deficit. The top-seeded Heat converted 34-34 from the charity stripe and shot 49% from the field. You also have to wonder if they'll get the sort of effort they got off the bench from Peyton Pritchard, who scored 18 points in the last outing. The Heat are the number 3 ranked defensive team in the league, and Butler is averaging near 30 points per game in the postseason. There was more that factored into Boston's loss than them simply having a bad night. This Miami team is a problem. Some would love to make the argument that Butler scoring 40-plus points isn't sustainable, but that argument doesn't work when you consider how he was able to get those points. None of those buckets came from three-pointer, and he camped out at the charity stripe like a scalper waiting in line for a PlayStation 5. He knocked down 17 of 18 free throws while going 12 of 18 from the floor. If Butler stays aggressive and continues to get to the free throw line consistently, he can make the Celtics pay with easy buckets. But the Heat will need guys like Max Strus and Gabe Vincent to come up big offensively like they did in Game 1. This Miami team is tough to beat when they have their offense going along with their elite defense. Speaking of defense, Butler put the return to sender label on Jason Tatum's 3-point attempt on Tuesday night. If the Heat win another game on Thursday, it will be by the skin of their teeth. The Celtics haven't lost back-to-back games throughout these playoffs, and they'll be coming out in Game 2 with a sense of urgency. They have responded to every challenge that has come their way so far, whether it was against the Brooklyn Nets or defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. This matchup with the Heat will be no different. Marcus Smart possibly being back on the floor will be a huge lift for the Celtics. The star guard is listed as probable to play in this game, which means Boston will be tougher on both ends of the floor. The reigning Defensive Player of the Year being added to the mix can only help a Celtics team holding opponents to an average 43.2% shooting on the road. Jimmy Butler will come back down to earth a bit offensively in this matchup, and Jason Tatum won't suffer another second-half collapse. It's hard to envision the Celtics star forward going silent in back-to-back games. Our total pick is under 206, and here is why. The Boston Celtics are averaging 108.3 points on 45.4% shooting and allowing 103.2 points on 44.7% shooting. Jason Tatum is averaging 28.3 points and 5.6 rebounds, while Jaylen Brown is averaging 22.2 points and 3.8 assists. Marcus Smart is the third double-digit scorer and Al Horford is grabbing 9.4 rebounds. The Boston Celtics are shooting 36.6% from beyond the arc and 79.9% from the free throw line. The Boston Celtics are allowing 32.9% shooting from deep and are grabbing 41.3 rebounds per game. The Miami Heat are averaging 108 points on 46.6% shooting and allowing 98.3 points on 44.3% shooting. Jimmy Butler is averaging 28.7 points and 7.6 rebounds, while Bam Adebayo is averaging 14.6 points and 7.7 rebounds. Tyler Herro is the third double-digit scorer and Max Strus is grabbing 4.4 rebounds. The Miami Heat are shooting 32.2% from beyond the arc and 81.1% from the free throw line. The Miami Heat are allowing 33.1% shooting from deep and are grabbing 41.2 rebounds per game. Offensively, Boston struggled at times in Game 1, especially in a brutal third quarter where they mustered just 14 total points. Boston shooters averaged a collective 45.5% from the field, but were much worse from beyond the arc, knocking down just 32.5% of all long-range attempts. They will need to convert at a higher level if they want to even things up in Game 2. The absence of Marcus Smart and Al Horford were felt, and their statuses will be worth monitoring before tip-off on Friday night. On the season, the Celtics offense ranks towards the middle of the pack, averaging just shy of 112 points per game, while shooting at 46.5% from the floor and 35.5% from beyond the arc. While Boston has garnered a lot of accolades for their defense, Miami also sports an elite caliber defensive unit that ranks 4th in the league, allowing just 105.5 per contest. The Heat have held opponents to below 45% from the field and below 34% from long range, ranking 2nd in the NBA behind Boston. They did a nice job slowing Boston down in the second half of Game 1, allowing just 45 points during a dominant closing performance. Despite some lackluster three-point shooting, Miami brought it offensively in Game 1, shredding the league's top-ranked scoring defense with 64 second-half points. Look for a Celtic team that limits opposing shooters to 43.5% from the field to bounce back with a better showing Friday night. Jimmy Butler will not be able to impose himself in quite the same way, limiting the explosiveness of the Miami offense just a tad. With Horford and Smart either out or less than 100%, Boston will once again struggle to find their rhythm on offense against an excellent Miami defense. Boston's three-point shooting was off in multiple games last round and was MI again in Game 1. The under is 7-4 in the Celtics' last 11 and 9-3 in all Heat playoff games. Disclaimer: no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you, the user, or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading, or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.